Hi everybody, this is Adrienne Joyce of Miss Joyce Tarot, and I'm here with the weekly tarot scope. And this is where I pull a card for each of the zodiac signs. You can apply it to your sun, moon, or rising. And this will be the card for the week. And this week we are heading into a full moon on April 7th. That's Tuesday. And as you know, I always point out the new and full moon cycle. So today I want to give a really brief and elementary type of explanation of what the new moon cycles are and how you can use them to your best advantage. And so, starting from the beginning, and like I said, this is going to be like really simple explanation. When we have the new moon is when the moon is not visible in the sky. You cannot see it. It looks like the sky is dark. The moon is often thought of as being a feminine energy because it is receptive. It does not have its own light. It receives its light from the sun. With that in mind, the new moon, you can relate that to conception. Let's say a woman who conceives a child. And that is when the moon is new, it's just starting, you can't see anything, and as time goes on, the moon gets fuller, it starts to be a sliver in the sky, and then it gets to a quarter moon, a half moon, and it takes about 14 days for it to get to the full moon stage. And in between that time, that is when the energies are ripe for us to really start new things. We use the energy of the moon and kind of mirror that. And so it's a good time to start new things, start new projects. And, really as the moon starts getting fuller, like a woman who is having a baby, she starts to show more, in her belly. And, people are starting to notice, and she tells people and she puts her idea out there that she's going to have this baby. She nurtures herself. She eats well. She, puts everything into making sure that this baby is going to be great and healthy and that it is going to flourish. When the moon gets full, about 2 weeks later, that is when we start the full moon cycle, and the moon is perfectly round, and that is when you give birth. Just as a woman nurtures herself and her baby during her pregnancy, and then when the time is ripe, she's full and it's time for her to give birth, and she is now seeing the fruits of her labor, so to speak. And the full moon is like that too. Sometimes it's painful, sometimes it's a lot of emotional content, a lot of emotional feelings when you give birth, but then you finally see the fruits of your labor, you have the baby. But also the full moon cycle is also a time where we get rid of things we no longer need. And just like when you give birth, you expel some water, your water breaks, right? And because you no longer need that, because now you're making way for the child to be born. And then when the child is born, you have the afterbirth. You no longer need that because you're no longer pregnant. You no longer need that source of nourishment for the child, so you expel the placenta because it's no longer needed. And so this is the same thing that we're doing with the full moon and new moon cycles. And so, this is life, and sometimes these are just suggestions. So if you have to start something during the full moon cycle and end things during the new moon cycle, life is what it is. You have to do what you have to do. But it's just that things may just go easier for you if you do it, within the prescribed times of the full moon and the new moon. The energy of the universe is more conducive toward the things I was just talking about. But, if you have to do things in opposite, it may be a little bit more difficult for you, but this is life, and this is what we are here to do as humans. To get through struggles sometimes, and to just make the best of it when we can. But if it's possible, and you can fit your decision making into the full moon, new moon cycle, suggestions, then it may be a little bit easier for you. So that's just a little bit of an explanation, very simply said, and not very scientific, but that is the concept behind what the full moon, new moon cycle is all about. So as I said, we're coming up on a full moon, so this will be a good time once we get there on the 7th to really start to see the fruits of our labor, and also to get rid of things that are no longer serving us at this point in time. So keep that in mind as I pull the cards for you this week. And we're going to start with Aries, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Please like, share, subscribe, comment. And if anyone would like a personal reading, please visit my links in the description box below. And there's a couple more shuffles here. Aries, your card is the Page of Wands, ideas. So this is definitely a great card for you, and it really is in line with what we were talking about in terms of the full moon cycle. So the Page of Wands is about bringing your ideas to the forefront, but because this is a court card, this is really not necessarily a new idea that is coming forth for you, but something that you have been thinking about for a long time. So keeping the full moon cycle in mind, this is maybe a time where you are going to see where your ideas are really coming to bear, that the things that you have been working on are starting to take shape and to be realized in life. And it's not just in your head, but it's also coming forth in the real world. Definitely keep that in mind, and with these new ideas, don't be discouraged if things are not necessarily working out exactly the way you thought. And this is a time to really go with the flow, to kind of innovate, to see where maybe you can revise something. If something is not working out exactly the way you want, maybe you need to cut out some things or to revise things, to make some edits in order to make it work even better for you. So now we're going to move on to Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment. And 2 cards have fallen out. And these cards are the 6 of Pentacles and the 5 of Cups. So maybe this is also a time where you may have to, once again, as I said for Aries, kind of think about things that maybe are not working out exactly the way you want. With the 5 of Cups here, there may be some disappointment. There may be situations that are not really exactly working out the way you thought they would, but there's definitely hope there as well. Just because it's not working out completely, that doesn't mean that the whole thing is ruined. And this can really relate to something that is emotional for you. It could turn out to be something that has to do with relationships, or something that really is close to your heart. But the fact of the matter is, things are still, there's not all is lost. And so with the 6 of Pentacles, the key word here is generosity. The thing is, there may be people in your life who can really help you to see that this is not something, this disappointment that you have is not something that you should give up on. Maybe they could even help you with it. And also sometimes when we have a situation where we are feeling disappointed, sometimes when we, stop to look at what other people are going through as well, maybe some other people are going through a similar situation. And if you can, lend some empathy or even help them out, be generous with your time or with your resources or with your skills. You know, maybe you can help each other out, and both of you can, you know, really start to feel better about whatever it is that you're disappointed about. So it's just a matter of kind of like reaching out and really, you know, reaching out with your time, and also not feeling ashamed to also talk to somebody else about this problem that you have, and to see whether you can, you know, they can be of some help to you. And there's always a different perspective to look at in terms of dealing with things in your life that are not going as smoothly as you would like them to go. So now we're going to move on to Gemini. Sun, Moon, Rising. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment. And Gemini, your card for the week is the Hierophant, the angel of blessings. And so count your blessings, Gemini. There are so many things that you have in your life that you can look to and see that you are really fortunate to have. And sometimes these things are not always obvious, or sometimes we don't always look to these things in our life. We take things for granted. So this may be a time for you to kind of look at your life and what's going on, and what fruits have been coming to bear, you know, from all your hard work that you have been doing. And, you know, don't take that for granted. Be happy, you know, be proud, and be grateful for the things that are coming your way. And, you know, perhaps this is a good time to look at it from a spiritual perspective. You know, yes, you know, you have put in a lot of work, but, you know, what purpose has all of this served for you? What direction are you going? What is the bigger picture in terms of the universe? So those are some things to keep in mind as well. And so now we're going to move on to Cancer. Sun, Moon, Rising. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment. And I've shuffled these cards so much, they're falling apart. But anyway, your card is the Queen of Swords, Independence. So Cancer, this may be a time for you to step out of the realm of feeling and to get a little bit more into your headspace. I always think that, you know, the Queen of Swords is about being logical and being independent, as they say here. And this is because the Queen of Swords, this energy is all about someone who has experienced a lot in life, a lot of emotional things in life, maybe some hurts and disappointments. And because of that, she has grown in wisdom. And I'm saying she, but this could be an energy that is applied to a man or a woman, but someone who has experienced a lot in life and has grown in wisdom. And so it's not so much that you are to not pay attention to your feelings, but it's a good idea to filter those feelings through the realm of your logic. You know, what are your feelings telling you? Analyze them a little bit. And with that feedback between the two, between the emotions and the logic, you can really come to some really great insights in terms of how to deal with anything in your life. And it does help to make you be a little bit more independent and less dependent on the moods of others in order to make you feel a certain way. You know, and that's a lesson that we all need to learn, is a little bit of detachment, that what people think about you or how they feel in general is not something that should determine how you yourself feel. And you know, a lot of times with, you know, people who are empaths, you know, this is a difficult thing to do, to separate how you feel from the way others feel. We can still be a help to others and be empathetic, but from a sense of detachment where we don't take on other people's emotions, but instead we're able to understand what is ours and what is theirs, and to help from a perspective of really being objective. So something to think about. And so now we're going to move on to Leo. I'm going to shuffle that a little bit more. Sun, Moon, Rising. Please like, share, subscribe, comment. And Leo, your card is the King of Swords. I'm sorry, the Knight of Swords, drama. And so this is a bit of a warning to keep yourself on an even keel. We talked about the full moon, and sometimes the full moon is associated with drama, with people with heightened emotions and heightened, thoughts. Even maybe sometimes drama is a function of overthinking something and jumping to conclusions. So all of that is something that you're being warned to avoid this at this time. Keep that in mind. Don't jump to conclusions. Don't overthink things. Try to rein it back. So just think about it, Leo. Calm it down. Calm it down. So next we're going to go to Virgo. Sun, Moon, Rising. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment. And Virgo, the card we have is the Hermit, the Angel of Reflection. So this could be a time where you're just going to have to, similarly to Leo, in a sense, kind of rein it back and just kind of stay to yourself at this time. This is a time to reflect on perhaps all the things that you've been working on, and to really see where you are, to really kind of take a look at all the things that you have going on in your life, and trying to determine whether you need to continue with certain things or if you need to get rid of certain things. Also, this may be a time for you to not really get into busy work, not doing things that are keeping you from thinking. Sometimes, we can distract ourselves by being too busy, and maybe this is a time for you to slow down the busyness and take a good hard look at what it is you may have been ignoring or overlooking because you have always been keeping yourself too busy. So now we're going to move on to Libra. Sun, Moon, Rising. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment. And Libra, your card is the High Priestess, Angel of Power. So again, this is a card just like we had for Virgo, but this card is also asking that you kind of step inside, to not really be in the forefront of this moment, but to really look at your feelings and your thoughts inside, and kind of take it from an inner perspective instead of an outer perspective. This is definitely a good time to really look at and focus on what you really want to do, what you are feeling inside, and to really try to marry that sense of what is in your head and what it is you present to the world, and to try to foster that type of authenticity. And that is where the power comes from, is from taking what you have at your core and being able to project it out. And so now we're going to move on to Scorpio. Sun, Moon, Rising. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment. And Scorpio, your card is the Eight of Pentacles, Dedication. So this is really saying to you to continue to keep up the good work. This is a time for you to pay attention to your money, basically, and also to make sure that you are establishing that foundation. With this card, there's also the underlying notion that whatever it is that you're doing, whatever it is you're working on, that it should be something that you enjoy, something that you like. Dedication is a word that really denotes that it's something that you stick to it because you want to do it. It's not a chore for you, even though it's work, but it's not a chore. It's something you enjoy. So whatever it is that you dedicate yourself to, make sure that it is actually something that you love. And so now we're going to move on to Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment. And Sagittarius, your card is the Eight of Swords, restriction. So this is a card that really ties into the full moon cycle. This is saying that make sure that you are not limiting yourself, that you get rid of ideas and thoughts that limit you. Sometimes the greatest obstacles that we have in life come from inside our own heads. It's us telling us ourselves that we can't do something, that someone is stopping us, or this institution, or I don't have enough money, or I don't have enough this or that or the other. And often, those things may be a consideration, and sometimes they're not as limiting as we think. There are ways to work around some things. There are ways to work around money sometimes. There are ways to get things that we need. There are ways to educate ourselves if we need more skills. We tend to prioritize things in our life. We have enough time to maybe watch a TV show, but then we say we don't have enough time to do something else. And so there's always time, there's always money, there's always a resource in order for us to get what we want. So this is a matter of really looking at those things, eliminating these limiting thoughts, and actually just taking the first steps. It could be baby steps. It could be, a little bit of time out of the day, a few minutes, 5 minutes, and actually getting to do what you want to do instead of thinking that you can't. And so now we're going to move on to Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment. And Capricorn, your card is the Knight of Wands, action. And so this is a time where you are really rolling. You have had ideas, you have put them out there, and now these things are going to be working for you. So just continue with these ideas. Now that you see where things are going, you can really take the next steps to even progress even further than you have before. This is going to be a week where you have a lot of energy, so just take advantage of that. Also make sure that you pace yourself. You don't want to, rush, put yourself out there and then kind of run out of steam or get tired. Make continuous progress toward your goal, and things should be really running smoothly for you this week. And so now we're going to move on to Aquarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment. And your card is the Knight of Wands as well. So definitely, as we said for Capricorn, just continue on with whatever it is that you have started. You really are starting to make some headway, and this is not the time to stop what you're doing. It's a time to keep on going, because whatever it is that you have already started, whatever projects you have been working on, it could be work related, it could be creative, it could be really anything, but whatever it is that you started on that's really doing well, continue to make that steady progress toward completing this goal. And once again, make sure that you pace yourself, that you don't run out of energy, that you see it through to completion. But this should also be a energetic and great week for you as well. And so now we're going to go to Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising. And Pisces, your card is the Five of Cups. So Pisces, if you are experiencing any type of disappointment this week, please know that all is not lost, that you still have some reserve left, that there are still things for you to be grateful for, even though it may not seem that way at the moment. The key for you is to, get out your emotions. Make sure, feel the way you feel. Be sad. Do what you need to do in order to really honor the feeling of disappointment that you have. And then once you get some of that out, also look at the things that you still have. Realize that there are ways to really continue on with what you have, and that there are people behind you, there are resources that you have, and don't despair completely. Pick yourself up and know that in the end it will all be okay. So thank you everybody for listening. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment, and I will talk to you soon.